What's up, fight fans? Your boy P. Welsh here, bringing to you UFC 324. We are back. A long break here. We got 324. Gaethje Pimblett, super exciting card. A lot of spots I really like. Little fresh angles, a little time away allows you to rejuice, recalibrate. First fight not here. We got Ty Thriller Miller versus Adam Fugit. 6-0 Miller versus 10-5 Fugit. 2-3 in his last five for Fugit in the UFC. And yeah, I think if you got, I'm gonna take a side here. I'm gonna take Miller to finish TKO or submission. I think Fugit has a chance to make it like a gritty 3-round fight, but maybe even get finished late third. It's just one of those things that, like, yeah, he can beat up worse fighters, and maybe he might steal a few minutes, a few moments where Miller might have to recover. But at the end of the day, I think over the course of 15 minutes, Miller should be able to work Fugit pretty good for the finish. Got a big division, welterweights, killer be killed division, and Fugit's been finished a few times. So I'm just going there. I think it could happen a few different ways. Knockdown, club and sub, ground and pound. Standing up. So I'm going with that being the official play is Miller by finish, TKO or submission. And I said I like Fugit here. I think he could actually survive pretty late into the third round even, but I think at some point I think the gas tank just runs out and he just accumulates too much damage, and either that, because then at that point, if it gets that close, maybe he doesn't get the finish and he might be able to squeak out a close decision victory. But I still think Miller's the winner, Miller's the pick. And we go from there, ladies and gents. Excited. Off to we're excited to keep tracking the record for year 3. Improvements each of the first 2 years. We're hoping to keep that up here, and just pick as many winners as possible. And we'll have a bet section coming on its own channel where we show our bets exclusively. But here we got a bantamweight bout between Ricky Turcios versus Cameron Smotherin. Turcios 13-5 versus Smotherin 12-6, and 2-3. Last is to Sopa and Raul Rojas Jr. and Zahabi with one win and split decision in between that. Smotherman, 2 straight losses. And, this one can go back and forth here. I think I'm going to pick Smotherman here. I hate picking against Ricky Turcios, but, man, that last fight that he had really showed me that he doesn't have too much left in the tank, in my opinion. I always remember the Ricky Turcios victory speech when he had one. So, always believe in yourselves. And other than that, I'm just going to pick Smotherman here and root for Ricky. Like Smotherman rebounds, has a chance to even get a submission in a way. Sneaky in there. Do some damage. Ricky goes down and sneaks in something in a bad position. So I got Smotherman here, and, Smotherman by decision. Next up, big boys in the building. Heavyweight bout, Josh Hokit versus Denzel Freeman. Hokit coming off that nice win to end the year. It was the KO, right, in November in 1 minute against Max Jimenez, which I didn't think it was going to be that fast. And then we watched Denzel, not really Marique Bulayo, same kind of matchup, and have to go to decision. So 2 guys, second fight here. Hokit riding the train and the knockout train, looking very good. I could see this fight going a little bit longer than you expect, maybe definitely into the second round. I don't know if this, I can see these guys taking their time to fill each other out. I don't think these guys are necessarily prone to taking dangerous positions, and I think they're both a little bit more skilled opponents than the last opponents they fought, so it should be a very good measuring stick. Honestly, if I had to pick something, I kind of like either. I don't even know. This one, I'm going to pick Hotik because I picked Freeman, and he didn't really impress me as much. I think that's where the consensus is for everybody, too, is like Freeman didn't really impress you as much in terms of the veracity of the output and the ability to, change the fight and win it in his favor. And I think that's where Hokit is getting the favoritism. But I do think it gets a little bit slower start to the fight. I really do think Freeman's length gives him just his propensity not to want to make a mistake. At finish, knows the danger, and could be very cautious. Big heavyweight, very check the athleticism in there. We'll see what it goes, but the official pick is going to be Hokit. Let's go, baby. Next up, we got women's flyweight Natalia Silva, 19-5-1. I wonder if they'll move this fight up a little bit versus Rose Namajunas, 15-7. Both ladies coming off a win. Namajunas been in pretty good form recently. Natalia Silva beat Grasso recently, Andrade, Araujo, Lee before that. Been on a run, and yeah, it's one of those things where I don't know how you don't pick Silva here. Namajunas beat Maverick, lost to Blanchfield. You could argue she beat Blanchfield. Cortez and Hebos, and then, was on her bad run of form before that, losing the belt and then coming back from that. Sometimes I think when people lose the belt, i.e. Piotr Jan, it's, it's hard to rebound in some of those fights. I really do think Silva has a chance to just put her name on the map for the flyweights. I think Mackenzie Dern going back up in there, both these girls got a chance. Not Mackenzie Dern. I don't know what I'm saying here. I think it's Mackenzie Dern. What am I doing here? But yeah. So the flyweight division, I expect Silva here. Silva by decision. I mean, she's just the pop that she has and just her athleticism inside. Oh, she's strawweight. Flyweight Shevchenko. So these are the little bit. All right, these are flyweights. My bad, strawweights. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man, because I can't. I'm not gonna say are either of these girls going to beat Shevchenko. We got to look at the matchup here that we have, and I'm always going to go with Natalia Silva here. I mean, I do think Namajunas could be on that like redemption arc into getting another title shot by somebody that had the belt, defended it, lost it, lost a little bit, and had to fight back to rebound. I think that's an arc that you definitely see in UFC. She's getting a little bit older. I don't know if she has another run. I mean, still 33. You act like she's like the oldest guy in the, oldest chick in the world. But a loss here really sets her back from maybe one more run after that. Silva has her whole career in front of them, unblemished, and just looking really good. So, again, it's hard to really go against Silva being the official pick here against Namajunas. Again, one of those things where you're kind of like rooting for Namajunas, but Silva coming in here, and I think that's the spot. You got to just look at her being probably one of the best flyweight prospects in the entire organization. And could argue with a win here, potential finish, anything's possible. Next up, flyweight bout. We got Alex Perez. Alex Perez. I love calling guys Al like that. Versus Charles Skullet Gang Johnson. 25-10 Perez versus 18-7 Johnson. Perez had the injury to Tyra and the loss to Almabayev. Johnson, had the loss to Temirov, got it overturned. I think to a no contest, it should actually read. Temirov was suspended for PEDs. Knocked out two heavy-hitting prospects in Kavanaugh and Josh Fan in the last 2 calendar years. And I don't know how you don't pick Charles Johnson here. I don't know how you're not big on the Charles Johnson fan. I think Charles Johnson round 3/decision is the move. I think he could very easily lose the first round. It'd be a very close first round, potentially even close second round too. Winning, but he always turns it on in the third round. My man has an insane gas tank. He has so much volume. Yeah, I think Charles Johnson, even if he wanted to do TKO and points, because I think at some point he could just turn on the volume late second round and just get an absolute finish like he did against Kavanaugh, man. One punch, if your arms are down, if you're taking damage like Perez, legs a little compromised maybe. So, yeah, I kind of think I love Charles Johnson as one of my favorite picks. I like Charles Johnson, TKO or points. I mean, I thought if there's really a chance that he can sub him, he would sub him in a way. I mean, Perez has been finished, but that ain't Johnson. He does have 4 on his resume, but I don't know. I can't really see, maybe Perez goes for some takedowns. That could be a cheeky finish if he got Charles Johnson by like guillotine or something. I mean, I saw an anaconda choke in there. So again, most of those are probably way earlier in his career. That being said, have a little bit of an ability. He's got great takedown defense. So I don't know if his counter grappling is going to be there. We'll see what works on him. I mean, he has had a good, he knocked off Kavanaugh in August. It's been off for a good amount, man. Like I said, I'm big on Charles Johnson. I'm a big fan. I'm rooting for him. I think he clearly gets a W here, and he moves on up in the flyweight ranking. Next up, the middleweight monster, Ateba Gaethje versus Andre Puliev. Gaethje 9-1 versus Pulev 10-3, and yeah, the UFC's giving us a nice one here. Gutierrez 1-2 is the official play. Um, yeah, I mean, what are we doing here? What are we doing? So there's a few guys that they just are absolutely throwing in front of the Wolves here, and this is another guy. The fact that Leroy Duncan didn't finish him is going to be as outstanding to us after his recent form. Yeah, Gaethje, I think rounds 1 and 2, TKO or sub, either way. It's however some of these guys want in this big division against mismatches like this. I don't even. Again, this could be a 30-second fight. It could be a 3-minute and 30-second fight. It could be an 8-minute and 30-second fight. It could. That's what always scares me. So I always like playing them 1-2. Because the 1.5 round, sometimes with a fight like this, man, like getting cooked on the half round and the second is brutal. So I think it's always worth playing on the alternate round bettings 1-2 on guys like this, especially if you don't want to, or if you're just super confident in them in the finish, you just do the finish and you get all 3 rounds if you really want to feel confident. Because again, sometimes like you bet a guy KO/decision and they get a round 3 sub and you're brutal. Had them with the finish. They were dominating, and I didn't get either of the check marks. So, ways to think about how I like to take Gaethje here. So, maybe we'll just do TKO and sub and lay a little bit more juice. But, yeah, I think he finishes Pulev, and I don't think it's very long. Next up, bantamweight bout, dude. This has got super interesting. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Davison Figueiredo. New Umar 19-1 versus Figueiredo 25-5-1. Figgy's last win against Montel Jackson, split decision, lost to Sandhagen and Jan before that. That was in the last calendar year. Umar, is his last one Marab and Mario Bautista. Yeah, I just don't know if he's going to get a finish here. I mean, how do you not see the fight going something like the Mario Bautista fight? And at that point, you probably got to think Figueiredo gets finished. So, I think at some point the athleticism of Umar is what's going to get him into a spot where he's just going to. I think Umar by sub might be the way that I'm going to end up taking it at some point too, because I think TKO club and sub is there, right? Like Hayoni Barcelos, but I also really do think that he's just going to take the back and get a rear naked choke, and you know something's going to happen. So. Figueiredo coming up to bantamweight. I know he's got a little bit more weight, but he can't really grapple. He's not in the best position. So if I have to attack somewhere super specific this week, I'm probably gonna do Umar by sub. I know he's a kickboxer by trade, but if you always watch, he dominates via wrestling too. His athleticism and his just knowledge inside the octagon, his fight IQ. Again, it's just something when you know where Figueiredo is and you watch Sandhagen talk about the fight, you just know that in the grappling exchanges, Figueiredo is just not as top tier as some other guys are. So I think it could be not even on the feet. I think it will be contested on the feet, and then I think Umar takes him down, and I think Umar works over the course of 3 rounds, gets a submission, and goes on for the title this year too. Oh, actually, I got a title predictor. I got 3 people for the title. I got Umar, I got Kape, and then I got. Man, who's the featherweight? Oh, Mozarv. I think those 3 on a $5 I think is worth the juice I'm going to put down. I think it's like 5 to win 5. So after that sidebar, we're going Nikita Krylov versus Modestas Bukauskas. Krylov 30-11 coming off a loss to Dom Reyes. That was actually Guskov. You got 2 straight KO losses off the comeback versus Modestas Bukauskas. 19-6, been on a decent run of form. After his loss to Petrino, but he, check hook 1 punch. Other than that, he's pretty much been very good. Besides the kick to the knee from Roundtree, I don't know how you don't pick Bukauskas here. I don't know how Bukauskas by KO/points isn't the double pick 'em. How can you trust Krylov's chin, bro? I mean, I picked him against Reyes, terrible pick. Then I picked Guskov, and I was cheering my bum off. It was like, him by KO was very good. It was even matchup. So, take Bukauskas KO or decision. I can't see Krylov doing much, man. That chin looks toast. 33 years old. He might be as well 43 years old with the amount of damage that he's taken. If you're talking about the last 2 KOs, fought Uzdemir, Craig, Ankalaev, Teixeira, OSP, Jean. He's just taking a lot of damage over the course of his career. And I think Bukauskas is cautious enough Just gonna get the win. Could be 3 rounds. Could be in 1 punch. The way that he finished Paul Craig, I don't know how you're not at least a little excited for Bukakis KO at some point, especially against a guy like Krylov. At any point, he could just hit him with something crazy like that. That was a nasty finish, bro. One of the most cool KOs that we don't even talk about months later, bro. The overhead elbow KO against Paul Craig, that was nasty, bro. One of the cooler ones. And I had Craig. I had actually needed the fight to just start round 2. It was actually disgusting. So, don't want to talk about it, but yeah, Bukakis. Next up, lightweight bout there. My man, Michael the Man Johnson versus Al Hernandez. We got 2 Al's on the card, dude. That's amazing. Where are these guys on here? Are they down at the bottom? Al Hernandez lightweight fight versus Michael Johnson. And boy, I don't know how you don't like Michael Johnson here, dude. He just seems really clean with the body shots. Okay, I think this fight goes really that way. Like, I like Michael Johnson a lot here. But I think Hernandez's only win condition is to wrestle and take down Johnson. So if we're going to see one of those Hernandez wrestle fights like we did against Kurt and Austin, where like he's getting outstruck, he ain't looking good, I think Johnson works the body enough to really stave off Hernandez. I think if you legitimately watch fighting and pay attention to the fights over time, and you see the way Michael Johnson has worked some of these fighters over the last few years, by God, man, this looks super good. Yeah, he can be put out at any moment, and Hernandez is coming off the KO win against Chase Hooper. Feeling that, but bro, Michael Johnson's got a nice, mean 1-2 to the body. He does some serious damage, and I think it's one of those spots where I like Michael Johnson on his own. I like Michael Johnson money line. I think he's a better fighter even over three rounds like he was against Sel Huber. I think the bag of Michael Johnson is so much deeper in terms of striking and mixed martial arts versus Al Hernandez is kind of like, hey, I'm going to swing with you and hopefully I win. I don't think he's nearly as talented, and his grappling game is definitely superior to Michael Johnson for sure, but I think Johnson's got great defense, is very strong, and I think that's the most underrated thing about Michael Johnson. He's got tremendous upper body strength and coordination, and I think he's going to have great distance management. He's going to throw some kicks. He's going to be landing some heavy shots. And I think he can get a late finish. And plus money, I love Michael Johnson on the money line. Michael Johnson decision. Michael Johnson KO. Boy, it's a spot that I just at some point I feel like I just have to fade Hernandez. Like, he's just been on a run too, and I don't know, man. I just feel like Michael Johnson's the mental inside the octagon, especially when taking damage, is something that's really hard to erase. And see what happens. This should be a banger. Should be another banger in the lightweights. I got Michael Johnson, though. Official pick. Let's go, baby. Featherweight fight. Arnold Allen. 20-3 versus Gene Lord Silva. Lord Silva coming off the loss to Diego Lopes. We got Arnold Allen win over, was it Gigachad? Was that it? Yeah, Gigachad Zike lost to Evolev and Holloway before that. Bro has really only had those 3 fights in 3 years. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you don't take Gene Lord Silva to finish Arnold Allen here. I think that has to be it. I think he does some nasty punches. Maybe Allen can win a decision late round, but like that's my whole thing. If like you're expecting this guy to go point against somebody like Gene Lord Silva, like he's just probably gonna get caught at some point. Just was finishing everybody. Almost finishing Lopes before he got, or Lopez. I don't know what they're considering Diego these days. Brazilian, Portuguese, whatever they want to say. No. But yeah, Lord Silva. Is he going to be patient enough to even get it to 3 rounds? You know what I mean? I do think Allen has the capability to snipe a counterpunch, something like Lopes, but I just don't think you can believe in Allen having the finishing ability that Diego Lopes has. If you watch every one of Diego Lopes' fights, there's multiple finishing opportunities for him in every fight. So I don't think you could say the same for Allen. And clearly, I mean, he's been in 3 fights, and the one win before that was an injury, and then it was Hooker before that. I'm talking freaking 4 years ago, man, at this point. So I think you just have to pick the guy. And the Fighting Nerds get back. Strong year for Fighting Nerds. I got Gene Silva here. Yeah, maybe a finish, late third, something crazy. Damage. Hits freaking with brick hands, bro. With a different passion. Next up, Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Derek the Black Beast Lewis. Waldo Cortez Acosta 16-2. We got Lewis 29-12. Lewis' last win was Taliesin Teixeira. Caught him in the first minute. Cortez Acosta been on the KO run, a nasty run besides the Pavlovich loss. And yeah, I don't know how you're not picking Cortez Acosta here. Money line, I think he gets a third round, probably decision. I wonder if he wrestles him. I think he just tries to dominate. I just think, at some point, like, there's a chance that Derek Lewis just doesn't want to step inside the octagon, right? And you never know what that's going to happen. And he's kind of due for one of those. His last two have been actually pretty awesome. Both massive underdog wins for Derek Lewis. You're getting him a third time as an underdog. And I just can't imagine it paying off again, quite frankly. I just think Cortez Acosta is a super talented, super tough dude, bro. I'm a Dominican believer, bro. And I'm a fan favorite. So I think got Cortez Acosta, Salsa boy. I think he can take it into deep waters, take it to the third round. He doesn't have to rush, but at any point he can catch Lewis. I think at the end of the day he ends up taking down Lewis because, like, why would you want to strike with Lewis when he can put you out like that versus, like, you can just take him down and win by decision over 3 rounds, like Jolton Almeida style. Because another thing is Waldo's got great top game. So he's not just gonna sit there and hold like gelatin. He's gonna posture. He's gonna go down. He's gonna ride the elbows. He's gonna do nasty stuff. And Derek's just gonna lay there. You're gonna be like, why is this guy laying on me? Why don't we just fight like me? Shit like that. So, as much as I want to pick Derek Lewis again, I think we had him 2 straight times. We had him at least the last time. I think we missed him against Rodrigo. That being said, I got Waldo Cortez Acosta. I ain't going against a train. Yeah, I'm such a fan of him. I think he's really talented. The Despen Sage annihilation just changed my mind about him completely. And ever since then, we've been on a pretty good 4-1 run with him. I didn't really watch the Arlovsky. Early 24, I was just starting to get into it. So here we're, year 3 of making picks like that. And I'm a true believer in Waldo Cortez Acosta getting on the win. Derek Lewis as an underdog is always enticing, but thinking back that he's been an underdog 2 straight times, coming up with wins. And I got Waldo Cortez Acosta, money line, decision, third round. Next up, third from the end, Sugar Show, Sean O'Malley, 3-rounder, 18-3, 1 no contest against Song Yadong, 22-8, 1 draw, 1 no contest, coming off a win. O'Malley, the double Marab loss, not good for the psyche. Song Yadong had the eye poke from the Cejudo, lost to Piotr Jan before that, and injured Jan at that. And I don't know how you don't pick Sean O'Malley money line here. Sean O'Malley by decision. Sean O'Malley third round late. I think this guy is so freaking good. This is nothing against Song Yadong, but he just loses to guys that O'Malley kind of beats. Kyler Phillips beats Corey Sandhagen. I mean, Piotr Jan, it's nothing, no shame losing to him, but he was injured. So yeah, I think Sean O'Malley is so freaking good. I think he'll be very patient. I think he'll win rounds, he'll win minutes, he'll win moments, and I think he'll piece the frick up out of Song Yadong. I think he'll do a lot of damage. I really hope he gets a finish. I'm rooting for the Sugar Show to get a finish. Other than that, I do think he absolutely just can destroy him for 3 rounds and him just be world class, bro. We don't underestimate how world class Sean O'Malley is at striking, how good he is at damage distance control. The first Marab fight was a lot closer than the second one. I will say that. I think you lost a little juice when so you can't make excuses. But I think Sean O'Malley round 3/decision is an amazing avenue this week. Guys, sneeze. So, I think he rebounds big time. I think a good opponent, good advantages, speed, strength, distance, timing, doesn't have to go 5 rounds. It's going to be able to manage really well. Sean O'Malley, let's go, baby. Back on the board. Bantamweight title fight. Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. 19-1 Harrison versus 23-5 Nunes. Bantamweight title. Harrison coming in as the favorite. Beat Juliana Pena. Beat Caitlin Vieira. Beat Holly Holm before that. And then the GOAT Amanda Nunes coming out of retirement. The epic mega fight. Some say it should have been the main event. I can't believe she's actually fighting. And I can't believe she's an underdog. How are you not picking Amanda Nunes here? I don't know. I don't know how people picking Kayla Harrison. 5 rounds. Never really seen Kayla there, and I know that you can always say that you've never seen her in 5 rounds. I'll tell you what, Amanda Nunes is a featherweight too. She's not necessarily a bantamweight. I think the cut will be easier from her. I think she'll retain more power. I think she'll do more damage. She'll be able to control where Kayla can't control, and I just don't see her losing like she did to Juliana Pena. I just don't see Harrison being better skilled at stand up to get to the ground. I really don't. I don't understand it. I might be missing something. I got Amanda Nunes all day and 2 times on Sunday. I think Amanda Nunes late even can be a potential, early and late, but anytime. I think she can knock out Kayla Harrison. I think you can see the fight being finished. And this is nothing against Kayla Harrison. This is everything to do with Amanda Nunes. I think she's arguably the best women's fighter of all time. She's going against somebody that I think has not been tested and put into the dark places of a title fight against somebody that is coming and who has actually overcome losing that title fight as well. Harrison just newly acquired it. Nunes has been hunting it. She's been stalking it for a while. She's been ready for it. I know whatever she's been training in the background. I don't know how you can pick. How you can't pick Nunes here. So yeah, one of my favorite plays, one of my favorite picks. I love Harrison. I just think at some point, 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, she just gets popped. Her gas tank goes. It's a big cut, and Nunes just comes in there and just takes it back. It just takes it back. So I think Nunes late finish, something like that. 3rd, 4th, 5th round finish. 3rd, 4th finish. Yeah, I just think it's money. I'm such a fan of Amanda Nunes this week. Let's go, baby. The lightweight title fight. They're calling it interim. I don't know what they're doing with the website. Justin the Highlight Gaethje versus Patty the Baddie Pimblett. Gaethje 27-5. Coming off the win. Oh my God, who did he fight last? Against Rafael Fiziev. That's who it is. And then we got, because he canceled Hooker because of the broke hand, Patty the Baddie coming in, wins over Chandler, King Bobby Green, Tony Ferguson, Jared Gordon, Jordan Levitt in his UFC career before a couple Rodrigo Vargas before that. Who's counting? And is this Patty's time? I have to say it is, man. It's hard for me to like pick Gaethje here with knowing kind of the way that he can lose fights multiple ways. He can get, I think we can see Patty look something like Max Holloway did against Justin Gaethje. I think if you're going to try and wrestle Patty, I think that's super not in your wheelhouse. If you're going to stand with him at some point, I think Gaethje is just going to eventually take in damage, going to be a little bit slower, and you're not going to scouse her out. Now, maybe he will get knocked out in his career. I'm not the one that says that, but I don't think he gets knocked out here. My thing, too, I'm a little worried about Gaethje. He couldn't knock out Fiziev, who has a fucking, granite chin regardless, but 3 rounds versus 5 rounds. I think Patty is going to be... I think this is his time, man. I don't know. It's just hard for me not to be super encouraged and supportive. I think he, A, could be arguably a better striker, B, arguably a better grappler, B, is a hungrier, younger fighter. We have lost 2 title fights now for Gaethje, and, has taken all that damage, kind of is like holding out the weight class thing. I don't know how much you put into that. So all those things taken into account, the pick has to be Patty. Some bread will probably be on Patty at some way or another, money lines, something like that. I just think there are just so many spots that I love on this card coming back fresh. I think we got Patty champ. I think we got Nunes champ. I think those are super solid. Other than that, I also really think that I want to. I mean, here's the thing: is if Gaethje wins and finishes Patty, it will be one of the most OMG moments of all time. So, we very well could. This one's going to be worth staying up to 100% because, like you said, at any point, if Gaethje comes in there with some stupid kick or something, even it could be a liver shot into just a gassed fourth round Patty. So, the win condition of Justin Gaethje. He's got to be the highlight. I just got to see. I just got to think it's Patty's time. And then Patty Ilya is so perfect. Even if it's like split decision, 48-47, Patty Pimblett, like that's another thing too. I think Patty will probably win on the scorecards at some point. Like I think he'll clearly win rounds where like the rounds Gaethje will win will be very close. So I also think like split decision Patty getting the belt and it being a highly like just talked about controversial is still also on the table as well. Remember, guys, in the comment section, leave all your winners in the comment section. Pick 100% of the winners correct, and I'll send you $100. Thank you guys for watching this far into the video. We'll do a quick recap. It's good to be back. Good to talk about fights. Still got to wait a little bit, but happy to get the video out. Happy to get rocking and rolling towards we're on the new the new plan, the new streaming service. So should be some great fights to start us off. I spelled Arnold Allen's name wrong, I think. Allen. So we'll do a quick recap here. We got Ty Miller to start. We got Cameron Smotherman. We got Josh Hokit. We got Natalia Silva. We got Charles Johnson. Gaethje, Umar. We got Bukakis, Michael Johnson, Gene Silva, Waldo Cortez Acosta, Sean O'Malley, Amanda Nunez, and Patty the Batty Pimblett. Thank you guys so much. Like, comment, subscribe if you made it this far. We're going to bring you videos every week for the whole year, health and family members barring. So thank you guys so much for the support. Peace and love.